When Coach Kelly was asked about the recent ESPN The Magazine article saying that 40 to 60% of his team smokes weed, he denied the allegations. The July jobs report came out Friday morning. Employers added 117,000 jobs last month. And the University of Oregon's linebacker Casey Matthews was taken by the Philadelphia Eagles in the 4th round of this year's NFL Draft. The car-sharing company Zipcar has joined forces with the University of Oregon. The California lawsuit says that Taco Bell seasoned beef does not meet the Federal Drug Administration's requirements. The reaction to the killing of terrorist Osama bin Laden continues to fill headlines worldwide. And with the new BMW dealership opening up across the street, the Subaru of Eugene is looking at some stiff competition. The theater department is putting on a classic American drama, Awake and Sing. Last year, Duck fans were able to raise over 68,000 pounds of food, as well as $1,200 in donations for the Lane County Food Bank, breaking all previous records. Last Wednesday, U.S. District Judge Susan Nelson ruled that she would take the Tom Brady vs. NFL case under advisement. Her decision will continue the lockout for yet another couple of weeks. Fans all over the nation will have no other choice but to turn to college football to watch the sport they love. With the possible increase in demand of college football tickets, universities could raise ticket prices to match this demand. Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullins says that he doesn't see this happening at Oregon, but possibly at other universities in the Pac-12.
I don't know that we'll see any real immediate impact on our gate for a couple of reasons. One, our distance from pro teams. Second is we're in a sold-out venue. So the real Saturday impact on us, I'm not sure. We might see it throughout our league because a number of our teams in our league operate in what you consider major markets where there are pro teams.
Mullins says that the University of Oregon will not raise their ticket prices as they were already set before the lockout happened. Mullins also says that the U of O stands behind its student athletes entering the draft and believes that the NFL will eventually resolve the issue.
I think it'll, in the end of the day, all those will be able to live their dreams and be able to play in the NFL eventually, because I think there's going to be some resolution to this at some point. Just don't know what point that'll be.
This is Dean Johnson reporting for Oregon News. With over 11 different trails, including the famous Priest Trail in Alton-Baker Park, there is no wonder why Eugene is considered Tracktown USA. The jogging craze all started back in the 1960s when the University of Oregon's head track coach, Bill Bowerman, came back from New Zealand and introduced the sport to the local community. Now, 12 years after his death, Eugene is still considered America's track capital. The University of Oregon and its historic Hayward Field have held a record 4 Olympic trials along with countless NCAA championship meets. Hayward Field is also home to one of America's largest single-day meets, the Prefontaine Classic, which is named after University of Oregon track legend Steve Prefontaine. Runners all over the world travel to Eugene to place race numbers and blue ribbons on his memorial at Hendricks Park. Eugene is also home to Oregon's Track Club, which was developed to provide track officials and offer graduate support for the University of Oregon athletes. However, the track club now has grown to meet the needs of athletes of all ages. Carrie Westland, president of the Oregon Track Club, tells us what it means to be in Tracktown, USA.
So there's a lot of pride in the history of Bill Bowerman, of Steve Prefontaine, of Phil Knight, this being the birthplace of Nike, having a stewardship role in Hayward Field, putting on some of the best events in the country here in Eugene, Oregon.
The Eugene area also offers 14 other track clubs that are open to members of all ages. When these athletes take the field, we as fans may be worried that they may lose the game. But being on drugs is the last of our worries, as each of them must pass a drug test before they can play. However, the University of Oregon administration has decided to change the student-athlete drug testing policy. Their current policy, which states that first-time offenders must meet with school officials to formulate a treatment program, while if an athlete tests positive for a second time, they shall be expelled from the team as well as lose all of their athletic aid. The new policy standards remain the same, but consequences were reworded to provide clarity. Athletic Director Rob Mullins says that they are looking for what is in the best interest for their student athletes.
The policy is in place for a reason. Hopefully it's very rare that it ever gets turned to or used. But I think it's in the student-athlete's best interest that we have this policy.
Athletes at the University of Oregon believe that the new changes will be helpful and that there is no reason for them to test positive for any type of drug.
There's no reason why we should have any student athletes representing our school or Eugene for that matter with drug incidents.
The Stop Online Piracy Act, or SOPA, was shelved 2 days after 7,000 websites protested against the planned legislation on January 18th. SOPA would have given U.S. law enforcement more power to fight online trafficking and copyrights. Today, at the University of Oregon, Merkley met with Tracktown 2012 organizers and athletes who will be competing at the World Championships in South Korea later this summer. While there, we asked him how he feels about the state of the U.S. economy. He says the New Deal puts burdens only on working-class Americans.
It doesn't place any burden on those who are most successful, the best off in our society. They don't contribute one slim dime to addressing the challenge. And so it's deeply flawed, and I opposed it.
The Oregon House of Representatives passed a new bill designed to get the students thinking about the future. The bill would require high school students to apply to college, the armed forces, or attend an orientation for an apprenticeship or training program. The theater department is putting on a classic American drama, Awake and Sing. Set during the Great Depression, the play is focused around a working-class Jewish family and their struggle for a piece of the American dream. After a successful first weekend, the play will be running again February 2nd, 3rd, and 4th for the general public. Tickets range from $12 to $14, and remember, tickets for UVO students are free. The Oak Ridge city manager nearly escaped losing his job last night. The city council voted 4-3 not to terminate Gordon Zimmerman. While that would seem to be a relief to Zimmerman, he actually told the council if they didn't terminate him, he would resign. The main issue is the $420,000 shortfall in the city budget. Zimmerman has said he can't explain where the money is. He's held firmly to his words that no embezzlement or fraud have taken place. Rather, he says it's likely has to be done with poor auditing. The National Federation of State High School Association has passed a new bat standard that will take effect January 1st, 2012. This change makes aluminum bats less powerful, thus minimizing injury risk, improving play, and increasing teaching opportunities. Officials say that the new rule ensures that performances by aluminum bats is more comparable to that of wood bats. The new rule is being implemented in college baseball for this season.